Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of Let's Play Dual Destinies. Last we left off, we were talking about how Athena Sykes is the culprit of the murder of her mother, and Edgeworth is about to, prove that, Athena was doing it and stuff like that. Oh god. This is what happens when I have to do two different recordings, because then I can't remember what we did the last time in Dual Destinies. But yes, Edgeworth is saying terrible things right now. Because Edgeworth is Edgeworth. Oops, that's not what I want to do. I was trying to get my stylus. What? At the end of the day, we mustn't forget that this witness is still a machine. Being a robot, its understanding and capacity to express itself are limited. Alright, we were interrogating Ponko. So what are you suggesting? The witness's statements needs to be interpreted. For example, the terms hugged and then later fell down. Adults don't usually fall down after being hugged by a child. They don't, but... Yes, what this witness's statements are telling us is... that the defendant stabbed the victim with the murder weapon, during this moment. Sorry, volume is really loud, don't mind... Let me just put this down a little bit. There we go. What? What?! Rubble. That's still too loud. Okay. Before Miss Sykes hugged Dr. Sykes, did the two of them converse?
Yes, they did. They spoke to each other very loudly, but I don't know what they said. Athena is usually so quiet, so I was surprised.
Spoke very loudly. We can interpret this to mean they argued. I see. Murder after a heated argument, and then the victim fell down. I agree that this does sound like a reasonable interpretation. However, Ponko doesn't seem to remember anything that happened after that.
When I am recharging, I go into sleep mode. But I remember everything before that. I have a very good memory.
You may as well admit defeat now, right? A cross-examination would be useless. Don't be ridiculous! A cross-examination is never useless! Until now, think about it. Robots don't lie. This robot is both an important witness and valuable evidence at the same time. Nevertheless, I will have my cross-examination. Oops, no, don't make the voo sound with... Right. I see you haven't changed. You never will want to worry about wasting time. Very well, even if it may be a waste of time, you may proceed, Mr. Wright. I'll show you both just how fruitful any cross-examination can be. Okay, so we are pressing on the statement about Mommy Menace falling down.
Hold it!
I don't want to delve too deeply here, but... could you tell us how the victim appeared and acted at this moment?
Mommy Menace was very surprised when she was hugged. I heard her heart pound.
Her heart? Mr. Wright, have you forgotten about this document we found in the robotics lab? Oh, that's still loud. I wish there was a volume control in Professor Layton vs. Phoenix Wright where I could just lower the sound of the music. There we go. These robots have a heartbeat detection system. Now that he mentions it, I do remember reading something like that there. They detect the presence of people by the sound of their heartbeats. But wait a minute, that means if Dr. Sykes really did die at this moment. Ponko, how was Dr. Sykes after she fell down? Could you still hear the sound of her heartbeat?
Let's see. The moment she fell, her heart was pounding. After that, I don't know. I started recharging just then.
Of all the unlucky timing, if you had heard anything after that, it could have possibly proved that the hug wasn't actually the moment of the murder.
I'm very sorry. I'm afraid I don't know. I'm very sorry.
The robot is designed to go into sleep mode automatically, so it can't be helped. But it does appear it detected an increased heart rate at the moment of the stabbing.
After Mommy Menace's heart After Mommy Menace's heart started pounding in surprise, she fell by the window. It was the round window on the workbench side of the room.
The workbench, huh? Well, that's not where we found her. Ponko must be talking about that table to the right of where that giant robot is now. Is there something critical in Ponko's statement just now? There is something. Your Honor, I believe this statement is critical. I'd like it added to her testimony. Very well. Ponko, could you please add that statement to your testimony? That's a good little girl. Judge, please.
Mommy Menace fell down near the round window on the workbench side of the room.
Okay, that's strange considering... Where is that picture? The 7-year-old...
Objection!
There we go. Ponko, your statement may have just inspired a breakthrough.
I was helpful? Hooray! I'm so happy!
Just to be sure, let's go over it again, okay? The victim fell near the window on the workbench side of the room. However, her body was discovered on the operating table. But the operating table and the workbench are two different locations. Exactly, Your Honor. We've just learned a new crucial fact. What could explain the two very different locations of the body? I'll tell you what. The victim moved. An 11-year-old girl couldn't have moved the heavy body of an adult, so the only explanation is that the victim walked to the operating table herself. In other words, what Ponko observed near the workbench couldn't possibly have been the moment of the murder. Rubble. I'm very relieved to hear that. Glad to know that the murder wasn't committed in front of little Ponko here. Really? Yes, as we just heard in the testimony, Miss Sykes hugged her mother, nothing
Objection!
more. Right. Five rights. Too many rights. It's been 8 years, but you're still just as green as ever. Green? But I can't recall ever seeing Mr. Wright in anything but a blue suit. Hey, blue's my favorite color. What can I say? Blue is my favorite color too, alright? If the defendant couldn't move the body herself, she could have had it moved for her. Moved for her? But Miss Sykes and Dr. Sykes were the only ones there. I agree, since this robot is equipped with the heartbeat detection system, it would have been aware of another person's presence if someone else had been there. We can therefore conclude that the defendant and the victim were the only ones present. Then who do you suggest moved the body? Don't you know it's in the nature of a robot to help people do things? Miss Ponko, allow me to ask you a question.
My name is Ponko! Say it with me! Ponko!
I believe you said you were cleaning after Dr. Sykes fell down. Did you happen to move something large onto the operating table?
Yes, I did! Athena asked me to!
Athena asked you to? And what did you move, little Ponko?
I don't know. Unless something has an ID tag, I can't tell what it is.
An ID tag, you say?
Yes, a tag with a barcode on it. We robots scanned them to tell us what a thing is.
That paper in the lab did mention something about that. Recognizes people by scanning their spacesuit or uniform jacket ID tag, it said. So, it would appear that Miss Ponko here can't identify what it moved.
My name is Ponko!
But we humans have the power to imagine what it was, do we not? But that's just speculations, Edgeworth! We do? Well, I do, at the very least. Miss Ponko, on the defendant's command, move the body onto the operating table. Ah! Oh, well. Ponko, did you really move Dr. Sykes' body? This is really important. Isn't there any way you could tell?
I don't know. Without an ID tag, I can't tell.
Give it up, right? If the victim's heart was stopped, the robot's detection system would be useless. Furthermore, Dr. Sykes usually wore her white coat while she was working. Blech. She kept the jacket with her ID tag on it draped over a chair in the robotics lab, and only wore it for special occasions. In other words, the victim wasn't wearing her ID tag at the time. From the robot's point of view, her body was simply just another object.
Objection!
But Ponko is equipped with a facial recognition system. If she really did move the victim, she would have recognized the body as Dr. Sykes. But she didn't, so that means...
Objection!
A face can easily be covered with a piece of cloth, a mask, or anything else that for that matter. With her facial features hidden, the robot wouldn't be able to tell it was Dr. Sykes. He's right. To summarize, Miss Sykes stabbed her mother near the workbench, then, using the robot, she moved the body to the table where she removed the sword and was stained in blood. Well, shit. Order! But if that's the case, then I have a question. Why did the defendant move the body to the operating table in the first place? You want a reason. Very well. What? You can't possibly have an explanation. Your emotions blind you to the truth. You could learn a lot from your robot friends, Calm and rational thought will open your eyes to the truth in front of you, Mr. Wright. Now then, do you remember the operating table, one special feature? I believe I read the robots can be assembled and disassembled there, is that right? That's right, and to the defendant, who was just a child at the time, the table was like a magic box that could make robots appear or disappear in seconds. Oh, that's really creepy. That's really disturbing. Oh! But in the end, my mom just put her on the operating table and fixed her in a flash. I was so impressed by what my mom did. I even asked her if she would put me on the table and fix me if I ever got hurt. That is so twisted. It looked just like magic to me, what she could do. You can't possibly be suggesting... This young, sheltered girl had a difficult time distinguishing robots from people. But take a look at Ponko's arm. It was Miss Sykes who bandaged it up like that. She must have thought that machines healed in the same way that people do. What an adorable, naive mistake. It reminds me of my grandchild. My own grandchild. No way. I refuse to believe it! Miss Sykes made a childish, naive, and cruel mistake. She thought that if a robot could be dismantled and vanished without a trace... Prosecutor Edgeworth! If you're about to claim what I think you are, I demand that you word it as delicately as you can. With all due respect, Your Honor, all I can do is present the truth as it stands. The reason the defendant moved the victim's body to the operating table... No! Don't say another word! Just stop! Nope! Was to dismantle the evidence so that she could get away with her crime. That can't be! That can't be true! Oh, that's really fucked up. Even in Ace Attorney world, that's really fucked up. Order! Order in the court! Order in the court, I say! Edgeworth, she was just a little kid. How can you say such a horrible thing? Horrible? Like I said, you are just as green as ever. I came here today as a prosecutor to seek only the truth. No more, no less. My theory is simply the result of a rational consideration of every possibility.
Objection!
But dismantling isn't the table's only function. It can make repairs as well. It's conceivable that Miss Sykes moved her mother to the table in order to fix her. I suppose that could be another way of interpreting it. But dismantle or repair, it doesn't matter either way. What do you mean? After murdering her mother, Miss Sykes may have come to her senses. Perhaps she did want to make it appear as if it never happened. And that's why she tried to repair her mother. Yes, that's one possible explanation. Explanation! Woo! I am just rolling over my words today! But we mustn't forget the facts of this case. The victim was observed to fall down after being hugged by the defendant, and the body was moved per the defendant's command. These two facts that indicate the defendant's guilt, remain unchanged. This just can't be true. Mr. Wright, do you have any evidence to refute the prosecution's claim? Evidence? Right. Let's see. I can't think of any. I'm afraid I don't have any evidence. Since becoming chief prosecutor, I've learned that truth isn't always pretty. Now accept the truth, Mr. Wright. Your subordinate mother her own mother. Your Honor, the prosecution demands a verdict. The hostages have suffered enough. What a terrible and tragic conclusion. If the defense has no counter-argument, I see no need to further prolong this trial. Edgeworth's argument seems solid enough, but... There's no way Athena could have ever done anything like that. What do I do? There has to be something, but I can't think of a single thing. Objection! I'm gonna guess Blackwell. Yeah! Prosecutor Blackwell! This is quite the farce you are conducting here. I could die from laughter. Prosecutor Blackwell, what are you talking about? What I'm talking about is that your argument is based on an entirely false premise. Go on, we're listening. Could this be the miracle I need? No. But what is Prosecutor Blackwell trying to pull here? 7 years. For 7 long years. This case has been on my mind. Not for an instant did I not think of it. I'm the one who killed my mentor, and don't think you can alter that fact now. Your boldness, I will take this to the stand, and I won't take no for an answer. Of course, Prosecutor Blackwell. Please go ahead. Oh, boy. Great. Now we have to do Blackwell. I went to the Cosmos Space Center with the intention of killing Dr. Sykes. But when I got to the robotics lab, I found Athena there instead. I would not be swayed from my purpose, so I waited for Dr. Sykes to return. And then, I committed the act. How cathartic it was. Blackwell, no! But little Ponko here witnessed the victim falling. In other words...
Objection!
I don't need any of your other words, old man. I can guess what happened. Which would be... She fell means she fell. Merely that. The mother and child fooling around. Perhaps she tripped. Not that it matters. When I entered the lab, there was no trace of Dr. Sykes to be seen. There was no dead body either, of course, meaning she must have left the room. So the murder occurred after the time period Ponko described in her testimony? You would hardly take stock in the words of a wind-up toy.
Objection!
Then how do you explain the fact that the defendant had the robot move something? Athena was always tinkering with the robots on the operating table to amuse herself, and she always had Ponko move the heavy ones for her. That day was no different. Ponko moved a heavy robot for Athena. This is awful. What he's saying seems to make sense, and yet...
Objection!
Prosecutor Blackwell, are you trying, even now, to turn away from the truth? Do you realize we could bring the dark age of the law to a close today?
Objection!
You expect too much from me. I'm just a murderer, beyond redemption. Why don't you just let me go so I can settle down in hell? Prosecutor Blackwell's execution is tomorrow. If the truth doesn't come out now, it's all over. Are you saying that the little girl and the robot had nothing to do with the murder? That's right. So let's hear your verdict. If we don't hurry, I might miss the ferry across the Styx. Don't you dare, Judge! Don't forget, I have hostages over here. And Simon, how long are you going to cover for her? Miss Blackwell. Forgive me, Aura. I never wanted you to do anything like this for me. But you agreed to this trial. If you have a counter-argument, then present your evidence. That's the rule of the courtroom. Isn't that right, Chief Prosecutor? Blackwell, you selfish! Well, to be frank, I don't like this, but it's my duty to make a decision. If no one has a counter-argument, I will announce my verdict. Is this really happening? Is it really going to end just like it did 7 years ago?
I wanted to do it so bad. Even now. I wanted to fly out. I want to fly out of here and go save him.
No, I can't tell her. But how can I lie to Athena? If I can't prove Prosecutor Blackwell's innocence in this trial, I don't think Athena will ever forgive me. Yo, I think she wouldn't be mad at you in particular. I can't let this happen. But I just don't have the evidence to counter Prosecutor Blackwell's testimony. Rubble.
Hold it!
I'm going to assume it's Athena. Yeah! Although, you should probably not be on the defense bench. Athena, what are you feeling okay?
I can hear it. I can hear the voice of his heart. He's hiding something.
If he really is, I could sure use Athena's help here. Her power might be just the thing to get us through this.
Objection!
Sykes, Dodo. No need for you to chime in here. Just accept that you're innocent.
Objection! These past 7 years, they've been just as hard on me. They've been just as hard on me, you know.
What are you talking about?
Do you remember that horrible, horrible trial? Please, you have to listen to me. He didn't kill her. His heart is screaming that he didn't kill her. Even now, every time I stand in a courtroom, it comes back to haunt me. Not being heard, no matter how hard you try, feeling so helpless. Caught in people's stares, so scared that it feels like your chest is in a vice.
In a vice?
I'm terrified of courtrooms. I want to run out of that door even now.
And yet you found a way to keep your fears at bay and became a lawyer.
Thanks. That's because one day I came to realize that I had to fight. I couldn't give up. I exercised hard and I studied hard. I wanted to become the strongest lawyer I could be. This day has finally come. The day I've been looking forward to with all my heart. This is why I became a lawyer. This is why I study psychology. It was all to save you from this false conviction.
But Miss Sykes, do you realize what it would mean? You are the accused, after all. If you prove Prosecutor Blackwell innocent, then...
The only thing that matters is the truth. It's my duty to find out what that truth is. Simon, please give me this chance. The chance to shake off this fear that's been with me for 7 years and to face the truth.
Athena is being so brave, confronting her past like this. This might really be the last chance to save them both. Prosecutor Blackwell, please testify one more time about the incident 7 years ago. Fine, but your efforts will surely be in vain. For I am not a man who can be cut down easily.
Here we go, Simon. Let me hear the voice of your heart.
I should have drank some water before I did this. Alright, we are going to hit. Oh my gosh, it's been a while since I've done this, but oh, it's pinpoint. So, we're going to pinpoint the statement when he found Athena. Blackwell's really hot when he's young, I'm sorry. Right here, this one. He is happy to see Athena for some reason. So let's, pinpoint that.
Got it!
This feeling of happiness. Even though the person you were looking for wasn't there, you felt happy. Why is that? Simple. When I was looking for Athena and hadn't found her yet, I grew worried. So when I saw her in the robotics lab, I was happily relieved. Merely that. Uh-huh. Just now you said that you went to the Space Center to kill Dr. Sykes, but the first thing you did was look for her daughter instead? I had no intention of harming Athena, so I wanted to confirm that she was safe first. It was just a part of my plan, nothing contradictory about that. Ugh. The second I found an inconsistency, he cuts me down.
Simon knows the principles of analytical psychology. There's less noise now, but I don't see any instabilities we can latch onto.
I was afraid of that. We'll just have to keep chipping away at him then, bit by bit. Could you update his testimony, Athena?
You got it, boss!
Alright, next statement. Oh, so cute. I was relieved, swayed from my purpose, so I waited for Dr. Sykes to return. And when she did, I plunged the katana in. Wow, you are really sad.
Got it!
You should be happier, right? Not even you can falsify your emotions, Prosecutor Blackwell. What? When you said that you killed Dr. Sykes in your testimony, you felt sadness. Why would someone who had laid in wait to kill her be sad at her death? Such an obvious attack. Yes, I felt sadness, but it wasn't for her. I felt sorrow for Athena and her circumstances. Ugh, he can't be talking about that, can he?
I was just a convenient subject for her research.
Dr. Sykes was so intent on her research she forced her daughter to undergo experiments. My objective was to save Athena from an obsessive scientist who treated her own daughter like a research project. Or subject. What? I went to the psychology lab first. That's where I would usually find Athena playing. But that day was different. I heard someone crying in the robotics lab next door. Was Athena being subject to another experiment? I thought as I went to see. Conveniently, Athena had cried herself to sleep, so all I had to do was wait and kill. So that's why he was relieved when he saw Athena. But is this story really true? I'm not sure how much to believe.
Mr. Wright?
How are you doing, Athena? Still hanging in there?
I'm a lot stronger than I look, boss. Now, take a look at this. The noise level actually increased.
It went up? I've never seen it done that before.
Prosecutor Blackwell is lying somewhere in his testimony. As a matter of fact, he's piling a lie on top of a lie in an attempt to make his claims sound more believable. He's trying even harder to express his true feelings, and that's what's causing the noise.
How in the world should I approach this? I can either use evidence-based approach if I can find a contradiction. Otherwise, I should look for an inconsistency in his emotions. There are no flaws in my testimony, and his boldness is prepared to give his verdict. Give up this lost cause, and let the law free me of these chains already.
Objection!
No. I don't think so. Not while I'm around. Now, contradictory testimony or inconsistent emotions. Which should I tackle first? Let's go with his emotions. Okay, let's look for inconsistent emotions.
Got it, boss. But if you want to try looking for a contradictory statement instead, just let me know. I can easily switch over.
Alright. I heard crying the next door, of course I was worried. Another update. I hurried over and opened the door to the robotics lab. Then this is where we're going to pinpoint. Why are you so surprised? How odd. Why would you register surprise at opening the door to the lab? Alright, fine. I'll explain if I must. What surprised me was Ponko. That toy figure attacked me. Dr. Sykes knew full well of my plan to rescue Athena, but she couldn't stand guard over her daughter 24 hours a day. So Dr. Sykes had Ponko do it. Man, that's a pile of bullshit. That's right. She ordered Ponko to forcibly remove me on sight. So I slashed Ponko up with a katana that was there in the lab. That rickety old puppet wasn't worthy of that fine blade.
Mr. Wright, it's happening again. There's even more noise now.
No, Blackwell, no! It's at 100% now. What's going on here?
Whenever we find an opening, he covers it with he covers it up with lies. We'll never get rid of the noise at this rate.
It's pretty hard to keep telling coherent lies like that. His mind and will really are as sharp and strong as a katana. Alright, what should I tackle first this time? This testimony. I think there might be an inconsistency in Prosecutor Blackwell's testimony.
Alright, let's give it a thorough check then.
We're gonna give it a thorough check in the next video, because we are at 30 minutes, guys! I am sorry, I'm rolling over all my words today. I don't know what's up with me today. I probably just needed something to drink before I started this. But, yeah. Anyway, like I said, to be continued. I'll see you guys in the next video. At this moment.
Mommy Menace was very surprised when she was hugged. I heard her heart pound.
Her heart? Mr. Wright, have you forgotten about this document we found in the robotics lab? Oh, that's still loud. I wish there was a volume control in Professor Layton vs. Phoenix, right, where I could just lower the sound of the music. There we go. These robots have a heartbeat detection system. Now that he mentions it, I do remember reading something like that there. They detect the presence of people by the sound of their heartbeats. But wait a minute, that means if Dr. Sykes really did die at this moment. Ponko, how was Dr. Sykes after she fell down? Could you still hear the sound of her heartbeat?
Let's see. The moment she fell, her heart was pounding. After that, I don't know. I started recharging just then.
Of all the unlucky timing, if you had heard anything after that, it could have possibly proved that the hug wasn't actually the moment of the murder.
I'm very sorry. I'm afraid I don't know.
You may as well admit defeat now, right? A cross-examination would be useless. Don't be ridiculous! A cross-examination is never useless! Until now, think about it. Robots don't lie. This robot is both an important witness and valuable evidence at the same time. Nevertheless, I will have my cross-examination. Oops, no, don't make the woo sound with... Right. I see you haven't changed. You never will want to worry about wasting time. Very well, even if it may be a waste of time, you may proceed, Mr. Wright. I'll show you both just how fruitful any cross-examination can be. Okay, so we are pressing on the statement about Mommy Menace falling down.
Hold it!
I don't want to delve too deeply here, but could you tell us how the victim appeared and acted?
Oh, I'm very sorry.
The robot is designed to go into sleep mode automatically, so it can't be helped. But it does appear it detected an increased heart rate at the moment of the stabbing.
After Mommy Menace's heart started pounding in surprise, she fell by the window. It was the round window on the workbench side of the room.
The workbench, huh? Well, that's not where we found her. Ponko must be talking about that table to the right of where that giant robot is now. Is there something critical in Ponko's statement just now? There is something. Your Honor, I believe this statement is critical. I'd like it added to her testimony. Very well. Ponko, could you please add that statement to your testimony? That's a good little girl. Judge, please.
Mommy Menace fell down near the round window on the workbench side of the room.
Okay, that's strange considering... Where is that picture? The 7-year-old...
Objection!
There we go. Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of Let's Play Dual Destinies. Last we left off, we were talking about how Athena Sykes is the culprit of the murder of her mother, and Edgeworth is about to, prove that, you know, Athena was doing it and stuff like that. Oh, God. This is what happens when I have to do 2 different recordings, because then I can't remember what we did the last time in Dual Destinies. But yes, Edgeworth is saying terrible things right now. Because Edgeworth is Edgeworth. Oops, that's not what I want to do. I was trying to get my stylus. What? At the end of the day, we mustn't forget that this witness is still a machine. Being a robot, its understanding and capacity to express itself are limited. Alright, we were interrogating Ponko. So what are you suggesting? The witness's statements needs to be interpreted. For example, the terms hugged and then later fell down. Adults don't usually fall down after being hugged by a child. They don't, but... Yes, what this witness's statements are telling us is that the defendant stabbed the victim with the murder weapon, during this moment. Sorry, volume is really loud, don't mind. Let me just put this down a little bit. There we go. What? What?! Rubble. That's still too loud. Okay. Before Miss Sykes hugged Dr. Sykes, did the two of them converse?
Yes, they did. They spoke to each other very loudly, but I don't know what they said. Athena is usually so quiet, so I was surprised.
Spoke very loudly. We can interpret this to mean they argued. I see. Murder after a heated argument, and then the victim fell down. I agree that this does sound like a reasonable interpretation. However, Ponko doesn't seem to remember anything that happened after that.
When I am recharging, I go into sleep mode. But I remember everything before that. I have a very good memory.